Hi, this is Sarah from Higher Elevation CANNA. Thanks so much, Joe TV, for having me. So fun. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to My First Time, the show about your first time getting high on marijuana. I'm your host, Mike Freeman with Dro TV. And today I'd like to welcome our guest, Sarah from Higher Elevation. How are you?
Hi, Mike. I'm good. How are you?
Very well. You can find Sarah on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Higher Elevation Canna. All the links in the description below. So, Sarah, thanks for coming on the show today. Why don't you let everybody know where you're located and what you're doing in the Canna
Yeah.
fam?
Thanks, Mike. So, my name's Sarah. I'm located in Connecticut, and I am a cannabis home chef who just got into the industry maybe about 3 years ago. Everything that I do, I get cannabis from a medical dispensary here in Connecticut, and then I'm trying to diversify the market and show people how easy it is to cook with cannabis. It's a whole lot more than just cookies and brownies and gummies.
Sure. Awesome. Yeah, we've had some great guests like yourself that do all kinds of uh, whether it's cooking or um, infusion or even um, concentrates and stuff like that. So yeah, there's more than just smoking it and eating it. There's a whole a
Yeah.
whole new lane that we've opened up. So we appreciate and are thankful for people like yourself that are making that lane even wider for more people. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. In New England in particular, I think we're a little behind the times when you compare us to like the Californias and the Colorados of the country. But Massachusetts, which obviously is very close to me, they're recreationally legal. So their food market is starting to open up a little bit. And with Connecticut going recreational later this year, I'm hoping to kind of be an early bird on the cusp of whatever the edible market can be in this area.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm from Massachusetts, but I'm in Orlando now. So
Oh,
uh, believe it or not, as free as Florida is, it's still only recreational down here.
yeah,
And the cops still, you know, give people a lot of shit if they're caught with it. So
yeah.
I guess it all depends every scenario. But the show is my first time, Sarah. So we want to know about the first time you got high.
Yeah, so I have kind of an unorthodox story. I don't have like in high school or college, I smoked weed and this funny thing happened. I wish I had something a little bit more entertaining along those lines, but really, I just got into cannabis within the last couple of years.
Okay.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with PTSD. And
Okay.
my doctors were, I had two doctors that were advocating for me to get a Connecticut medical license, which I fought at first because self admittedly, I was one of the people who had the stigma that I'm now trying to fight. But when I finally got my medical license and went to the dispensary, my first inhalation was a sativa vape.
Okay.
And I remember instantly all of my symptomology went away. It was like I was a
Wow.
different person, like that. So all of the millions of thoughts going through my head, I could focus them better. I wasn't so like jittery and on edge and such an anxiety ball all the time. And literally from that first vape, I was convinced of all of the science that I had read for cannabis, medical cannabis, and how it can treat a variety of symptoms. And ever since then, I've kind of just tried to hone in on my understanding of the different strains and what works for my body and what doesn't.
Excellent. Well, yours is a particular story because, like myself and a lot of our other guests, we've probably been smoking so long where we didn't have the profound effects that you did. So, yours is a great story to be able to share because there are people that still have the stigma attached to it, or, maybe they're an older generation and they kind of want to try it, but they still think it's like pothead stuff. And so,
Yeah.
I think yours is an important story because you can say, "Hey, listen, I was completely against it, and then the second I actually ingested it, inhaled it, boom,
Yeah.
like you said, all your symptoms went away.
Exactly. I think the advocacy piece of cannabis use is really exciting, across the country, not just in this
Sure.
area. But it's stories like mine that convinced me to try it to begin with. And ever since then, like exactly to your point, I think a lot of it's a generational thing, maybe kind of geographical thing. But everyone that learns that I'm a cannabis user, whether I'm eating it or smoking it, whatever, there's sometimes this initial judgment. And once I hit them with the facts and I show them what cannabis can be, I think it's so much more than that, like whatever stoner pothead thing.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Awesome.
exciting.
So now you're cooking with cannabis, you're putting out some content, recipes and some stuff online. So what's your favorite thing to cook? I guess your favorite thing to cook with, whether it's like infused butter or sugar, and then
Yeah.
like the actual meal that you like to make.
So I usually go to butter.
Okay.
I have a magic butter machine, if you know what that is. It's
Mhm.
totally worth the investment.
It's like
It saves so much time.
like an espresso machine, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's exactly
Yes.
what it looks like. It's
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
canister thing, and you have to decarb in the oven beforehand, but then you can
Okay.
just put butter and the flour in the machine, hit on, and you're done. So I've made olive oils, coconut oils, butter. I have flour. There's a lot of flour, like baking flour. There's a lot of different things that I make, but I usually go to butter just because it's so easy to put into like basting meat or putting like cooking vegetables in it, and you barely even taste it.
Mm.
But I will say that my favorite thing that I have made so far, around Christmas time, I made a homemade three-tiered carrot cake.
Mm.
So fresh carrots, fresh ginger, all of the fixings or whatever. I used baking flour, infused baking flour for the cake mix itself. And then the icing it was buttercream icing and it had cannabis
Ooh.
butter in it. So it was like a
Wow.
spice carrot cake and it was, oh my God, it was amazing.
Who got to share in that?
My husband.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
a cannabis user or
Yeah, he has his medical card too.
okay.
So it works out that we're able to like test a lot of the goodies that we make.
Sure.
But I actually, just thinking about all of the different stuff I've made, I actually also made a lobster baked potato, which was amazing. It was so New England, but it was a baked potato with a ton of cannabis butter on it and sour cream and then lobster on top. And that I would say that and the cake are neck and neck.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, as much as I love cake, that lobster baked potato sounds really good. So
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So does your husband cook or is he just happy that somebody like yourself is around to make all this stuff?
I think he's just happy that I'm around to make all of this stuff. I have cooking as my passion, and
Okay.
it's my favorite way to consume cannabis. So I'm always in the kitchen trying to mess with my recipes, make sure that everything is kind of up to snuff so that I can hopefully get into the market once it opens up here and maybe even have a little cafe or something one day. That's the goal.
Excellent. Awesome. Love that entrepreneurial spirit. So
Thank you.
uh,
Thank you.
that's that's great. And we love to promote people like yourself that are, again, are spreading the good word and really just increasing awareness about this plant that has so many medicinal functions. And it's silly that here we are talking about something that's been around forever and it's still like
Yeah,
it's not legal here. You can only grow so much here, and this
I
you
know.
can only have so much, and you know. But you can go buy a keg this weekend and have a huge ripper at your house.
Exactly.
No questions asked. Well,
Exactly.
maybe they'll ask your ID, but it's about it.
Yeah, and it doesn't, I mean, if you use it in small doses and you microdose, then you don't have any impairment like you do with alcohol. I mean, obviously it's fun to smoke and get high on the weekends too. There's nothing wrong with
Sure.
that. I do it. That's part of this. It's fun.
Yeah.
but it doesn't impair you like alcohol. So I hope that with the more like studies and scientific information that comes out about the benefits of it, that it'll get more lax across the country and even hopefully be regulated federally so you don't have to play the like whack-a-mole game of figuring
Sure.
out which law applies to which state.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
silly when you think of how all these laws exist in the first place. But
Yeah.
um, so what are you doing to kind of network right now? Are there local events that are taking place, even though it's not, recreationally? There must still be some kind of events for MMJ users, right?
Yeah, there are. There's a couple in the New England area, as you know, there's the casinos in Connecticut.
Hmm.
So there's been a couple of cannabis conventions that I've attended.
Oh, nice.
I do a lot of social media networking because I think later this year, maybe early next year, I'm going to be doing on a personal level, I'm going to be doing a road trip across the country.
Awesome.
And I'd like to feed in a lot of the cannabis entrepreneurs and have some sort of like interview networking component built into that trip, just because I think the diversity of all of the products and services that people are offering across the country is awesome. I want to learn as much as possible. So I've been reaching out to people that are along the route that I know I'm going to be taking primarily in Colorado. And then, other
Awesome.
than that, we have right down the road from me, actually, there's a hemp farmer who is starting to grow cannabis in addition to hemp. And he's introduced me to a lot of the growers in this area, especially like organic and sustainable ones, which is cool too.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, that was part of our hope with this show as well. Um, Certainly increase our network, but like yourself being a guest on here, there's other episodes where we have interviewed people in Rochester, New York, and Canada, the UK, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Um, and networking and building these relationships. I know if I'm ever in one of these places, and certainly if I'm ever there, I probably need some weed. So now I have a little network where I can reach out to them. But like yourself too, where you can educate or be educated, and again, like, just increase your network. And as the old expression is, to increase your net worth, you need to increase your
Yeah.
network. So
Yeah, exactly. I'm working on it now. I'm still new to the game, but there's so much that's exploding right now. It's exciting to think about the possibilities and who you can meet in this industry.
yeah. I wanted to ask too, I noticed my buddy Masshole Chef follows you on Instagram. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you know Maddie, or if you guys just cross paths, both being cooking content creators, but um, he's a good
Actually,
buddy of mine.
yeah, it's funny you bring that up. So I was watching some of your episodes and I found him and his name stood out to me because you only know what masshole is if you're from like Massachusetts or Connecticut. So
Sure.
I thought
Yeah, yeah.
that was funny. But yeah, I started following him and I would love to get to know him a little bit more because we live pretty close to each other and he seems like a really cool dude. So
Yeah, yeah.
very
I've
cool.
known I've known Maddie a long time. Maddie's a great guy, and I'm sure anything that he could help you out with, certainly reach out to him. He will do that. I can vouch for him on
Thanks.
that aspect. Yeah, Maddie's awesome. So I'll let him know as well that we spoke and referenced him in this episode, so he can go back and watch it as well. So um,
Yeah,
awesome. So
thanks.
so you do smoke a little bit, but
Oh yeah.
mostly okay.
Yeah.
All right. Uh,
Mostly edibles,
joints,
but yeah.
joints, bowls, bongs,
Bowls.
bowls. Okay.
Bowls. I have actually there's a local glass blower who makes custom pieces and I try to buy all my stuff from her because it's just awesome. I have one right now that's like it's a dark purple black kind of pipe and it has a purple octopus that's wrapped around it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Wow.
That and I have a little lava lamp too that she made. So
Very
bowls are
cool.
my go-to.
Hey, everybody, I want to quickly mention Food Forest Abundance. Food Forest Abundance is a great way to create your own self sustaining food forest and naturally occurring ecosystem that's commonly found in nature, but designed specifically for you. Through multiple layers of trees, shrubs, herbs, vines, rhizomes, mushrooms, and perennial vegetables, you can become your own supply chain without the typical maintenance required of a garden. From small spaces to large areas, both urban and suburban, Food Forest Abundance wants us to get back to our roots in nature by engaging with our food production in a meaningful way. For more information, click on the link in the description below and start your journey today. Okay, let's get back to today's episode.
Very cool.
Always.
Yeah, the art, I'd really like to, again, as we expand our network, I'm hoping we're invited in, but
Of course.
I'd really like to go and just watch the whole process of how they, I mean, you can watch videos on how they do it, but I want to, you know, physically stand there and feel the heat and watch the whole process. I mean, some of these videos are edited down to 60 seconds where, I don't know, 1 hour, 2 hours worth of work. So to really appreciate the whole process, I'd like to be able to watch some of that because it's art and some of the stuff is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
What's
I
your
think
friend's
the
name?
hand
You want to
blown
give her a
glass
shout out?
pieces. Her name is Jackie Lucy, and she is from Forester, Rhode Island.
Awesome.
So absolutely, I'll give her a shout out. She's very talented.
Awesome. Excellent. Great. Well, Sarah, Higher Elevation, that's a name you came up with.
Yeah. So the obviously the play on words with high
Sure.
and elevation, because I really would like to elevate the edible market. So it fit really well together, and I have it trademarked in this area, and I have an apron and everything. I'm working on it.
Nice.
Higher Elevation CANNA.
Excellent. And that's
Yeah.
where you can find Sarah on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Higher Elevation CANNA. So thank you again for coming on the show and giving us some time today.
Thanks for having me.
And make sure you go follow Sarah. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button and let Sarah know she did a great job on this episode. And when you follow her, she's going to put out some awesome recipes, some meals. And when she's got her shop up and running there in Connecticut, we'll make sure we share that as well. And then we'll all be able to go in there and enjoy some. So the CANNA Cafe, that's probably, well, you're probably going to be like the Higher Elevation Cafe, I think, but.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
You're welcome. So again, thank you for coming on the show. And to everybody out there, have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one and smoke them if you got them.